get to know that some of the middle and high school students here in United States, like they are very versatile in the use of technology, like making use of artificial intelligence. So
Mhm.
I would also like maybe a research on something like seeing the sustainability of artificial intelligence in the classrooms,
Mhm.
like how. So I just love working with children, seeing them doing well, and researching on how they can be at their best in the classrooms. So I would love, if I'm privileged, to gain an admission to also develop myself in this area of career, in this area of education, like this career path I've delighted to pursue. So
Mhm.
that's my thought. I really appreciate uh everything you have said.
Wonderful. Are you in the, are you already here? Like, are you finishing your Kent, or you have already
Yeah,
finished
yeah,
your?
I already finished my master's already. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm currently living in Ohio.
Oh, okay. You are in Ohio. Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
uh when McMillon, like Dr. McMillon had mentioned, so we do focus on early childhood. So this is from birth to third grade, so age 8.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of our, so if you're choosing to do research, or for your dissertation, we do want you to remain within that age range. And most of our faculty work, like grant research, are also within that age range. Usually 0 to 5, sometimes all the way up to 8.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean, so I actually do work in the high school.
Okay.
So yeah, we have this program where we actually have this dual enrollment program with a neighboring high school. So the students are high schoolers, but the content is early childhood education. So we're trying to get them, to understand what the career in early childhood teaching is like. So it's
Yeah,
kind of like a workforce development, getting them to become
yeah,
teachers. So we
yeah.
do work with high schoolers for that. I also have a side project of looking at middle schoolers. Uh, I think reading comprehension. Yeah, but
Okay.
that's just my side project. But yeah, but as Dr. Macmillan said, we our focus really is on early childhood. So yeah, if you want to work on other things, if you did come with us, that's like totally fine. But your dissertation will most likely have to be within the
Yeah,
age of 0 to 8. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Then I also have one other question.
Mm-hmm.
Like for instance, like being an international student, I want to ask, like, is there any like opportunity for scholarship in the course of the program?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Or
yeah. Did you
yeah,
ask that with Dr. McMillan too?
no,
Oh,
no,
you
I
didn't,
didn't. I
you
didn't
didn't
ask.
ask. Yeah. I think that's like the most popular question I get. I think I have never been in any situation where people did not ask that question, because it's such an
Mm-hmm,
important question, right? How do you finance your education? Um,
mm-hmm,
yeah, so we have quite a few international applicants every year. With international students, usually I think they do, want like some kind of a scholarship. We have at the university, at the department level, we have two departmental scholarships for
okay,
two PhD students, but that only comes around every 4 years. So when somebody gets it, they keep it for 4 years. So it's
okay,
unless they decide to stop in the middle or something, it's really hard. Um, yeah, usually a lot of the times it's hard to get it, but it is a competitive process.
okay.
Um, Faculty actually do have grants from their projects as well.
Mm-hmm,
So currently we have about um, we have about we actually have 47 graduate students who are fully or partially funded.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but that's not all of our. We have over 20 PhD students. So not everyone gets funding, but at least we try our best to help as much as we can. Yeah. So there are some funding, and then also there are GA-ship. We call it GA-ship, graduate assistantships. So that is, hey Gabby. The graduate assistantships pay for stipend, and then it also pays for tuition. So if you work 20 hours as a GA, and then you get full tuition waiver. So that's the one I was talking about for the departmental GA ship, and then also some of the grants are like that. And then there are some opportunities outside of our department that if it gets posted on what's called Handshake, which is the student job posting for Oakland. So once you get accepted to Oakland and say that you're coming, then you will have access to that student job posting, so you can look for additional GA ship there as well. But
Okay.
yeah. But we do not offer any GA ship until the student is accepted, and then we have some kind of a competitive way of funding that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Wakabayashi. And we still have a couple more minutes until the session is over. And just a reminder, this is the 3:30 session on the PhD of Early Childhood and Education. I know some people have been joining the room. So if you're here for the MAT in secondary education, just stick around. We're going to start around 4, okay? But we do have time for more questions, or if there's any students here that wanted to share, their experience with Dr. Wakabayashi and with the Early Childhood Education Program, please feel free to, come on up and share your experience. And just a reminder, especially for you, Ayola, the link for the waiver code should be up now. So if you want to try it again, it should be working properly. So just
it's
double
working
check
right
that.
now. It's working
Awesome.
right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
thank
glad
you.
to hear that. So go ahead, Gabrielle, if you have anything, please.
Okay. Hey, Tomoko. So on OU's website, there's a spot where it says the PhD program is 80 credits, and in a different spot, if you click in, it says 60. Can you elaborate on what's going on there?
Yeah. So that's a good question, and we did not catch that. It is 68 credits now. It used to be 80 credits, and we streamlined it. So now it's 68, a little more affordable.
Wow.
Yeah. But we have put in a little more focus on the research part. So we reduced the credit, but we have this requirement that students need to work and with the faculty to present or publish while they're a student, which you would want to anyways, right?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Thanks for that question, Gabby.
Mhm.
Any other questions or?
Ma'am, this is Romy from India. I have one
Hi.
question.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, actually wanted to know that you mentioned about either you will have to have a master's degree in early childhood care or 3 years of experience. So, like already discussed about it earlier, that I'm having a master's in journalism. So, I am having 3 years of experience as a product manager, which is a role of taking teachers training and doing students workshop and trainings, and also working on curriculum and pedagogies in book creation for K to 12. So
Yeah.
will that be counted as a 3 years of experience?
Yeah, I think we kind of mentioned, we talked about that. I think it will be considered 3 years of experience in your case because you are in doing it in the field of education. In terms of your coursework, I think I mentioned that because you don't have the background, like educational background in early childhood, will ask you to take some foundational master's courses, a couple of those, before moving on to a PhD level course. But those courses can count towards your cognate, which is a 16 credit course that I, focus that I told you about. So it's not going to be like more courses. It's just we want you to have a different kind of like master's level
A
foundation.
brief about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And ma'am, where is the link? Where should I find it from? The application fee waiver link sir was talking about.
I will post on the chat again, so you can
Okay.
have it. Okay.
Thank you.
Just give me 1 second here. But yeah, I was just a reminder for everyone. You do need to fill up the form, and you will receive a code in a couple of days, 2 to 3 days. So in order for you to get the code, you need to fill up the form, and we will process the information and send you the code. Okay, so be patient while we process the information, but you should get in 3 days or so. Okay, so there it is.
Okay.
And I think I saw somebody.
Yeah, do you have anything, Hutchinson?
Yes, please. Sorry for being late, and my network has been very poor around the site. I would like Dr. Tomoko to touch on. I came in late because of my network, to touch on the grants for international students. I have an MPhil in early childhood from Ghana, and I'm looking forward to pursue my PhD in early childhood. MPhil in early childhood with thesis and defense, and I'm hoping to continue with a PhD in specifically early childhood. But then I heard that those on the grants, unless they complete before the spaces can be occupied by others. I don't think I heard well. I wanted a clarification there. Doesn't mean that if we need that to be able to pursue the program, that means we'll have to wait for them to finish their course before we can be considered. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So what I was talking about, there's several, a few different, I guess a couple different ways that our graduate assistantship works. So the graduate assistantship is where you get a stipend and you get a tuition waiver. A full GA-ship with full tuition waiver would be 20 hours of work. So you work 20 hours and then you get your full tuition waived. Or you can be offered 10 hours and then have half of your tuition waived. At the department level, we have 2 slots for GA-ship, full GA-ship. Once you get if you are awarded the department GA-ship, you are able to work on it for 4 years, up to 4 years. That's the university that you have a 4-year term, and then you can't anymore. But that 4 years, and then for international students, actually, as long as you finish all your coursework and pass your qualifying exam, you can get a reduced course like waiver. So you might be able to only take 1 or 2 courses later on as you're doing your dissertation. But anyways, two slots for the departmental GA is good for 4 years, which means that once somebody gets that position, it's usually not, doesn't usually open up for 4 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yeah, but we have, faculty do have other grants as well. So if there are grants, there may be GA-ship, and we do currently have a few GA-ship that is not departmental. So even though we have 2 departmental GA-ship, we have 5 additional students getting some kind of a either a half or a full GA-ship right now. So the 2, there's no, again, it's a competitive thing. We have 7 students who are getting some kind of a GA-ship. We have 22 in all who are PhD students in the whole program. So not everyone gets it. But there are additional. And then I had mentioned that you can also, there may be some posting outside of the department for GA-ship that you may also be able to apply to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so
All
much
right.
for your time.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wakabayashi. Okay, everyone, we're going to start wrapping up this session in the PhD of Early Childhood Education, and it's 3:59 p.m. right now, and we will start our next section in MAT Secondary Education in a minute. So if you're interested in that, stick around. Otherwise, thank you so much for coming and getting more information. Thank you again, Doctor, and have a good day, okay? Bye. Dr. Francis, how you
Hi,
doing?
how are you? Good, how are you?
Good.
Good,
Okay,
good to
so
see you.
good to see you too. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here.
Sure. Yeah.
I will go over some housekeeping items for the
Mhm.
people that just joined the room. And then as soon as I'm done, I will transfer to you. If you have any slides, presentation that you
I
want to
do.
share with us, you can go ahead and share your screen and everything.
Should I do it now or should I wait till your part's done?
You can do it now. You can go ahead and we're just gonna start right now.
All right, let's make sure this works. Hang on, there's a chat. Oh, that was Tomoko. And how is boom boom that working?
That's great. Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay.
Perfect. All right, so welcome everyone. Thank you for joining our virtual graduate open house for the School of Education and Human Services. This is the breakout room A for the initial certification and endorsement. So if you're looking for information in other fields, I would recommend you to go back to the main room and then they will direct you to the correct breakout room, okay? So if you wish to receive a waiver code for a free application waiver, you have to access the link that I'm about to drop on the chat right now and fill up with your information, and we will send you a code in a couple of days, 2 to 3 days. So be patient while we process your information. But it's important that you fill up that form with all your information in order to receive a code, okay? So don't forget to do that. If you have any issues hearing or seeing this presentation, you can use the chat to communicate with us, and we'll try to figure it out what's the issue. And if you have any questions to the presenter during this presentation, you can use the Q&A option here at any time. You can also, text in the chat, or at the end of the presentation, we're going to open some time for you to come up on live and we can have a discussion. You can also interact with our presenter, okay? So I think that's it. With no further ado, I would like to introduce Dr. Anthony Francis, and he will be presenting on the MAT of Secondary Education Program. Thank you, Dr. Francis.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for having me, everybody. Welcome. We're excited about secondary ed here. So just so you know, my name is Tuf, T-U-F. Anthony's my first name, but nobody calls me that's my middle name. And I'm the coordinator of this program. I teach history social studies. So if you are interested in history social studies, you will have me for more classes than you probably want. That's just how we roll. Like all the math people stay with our math person, and it's great. We love it. So I'm here to tell you about the program, tell you about the requirements. But listen, you stop me at any point. You can go ahead and put stuff in the chat, or you can just talk. Let's see, I'm seeing chats. Okay, that's for the different thing. So, but if you need anything, just stop me. No problem. So what is secondary ed? What does it mean? And how do you become a secondary ed teacher? Okay, that's me, Toof. And just so you know, this program will begin in the fall, right? In 4 months or whatever that is. May 1st is the deadline. We won't accept them afterward. Okay, so we accept late applications whenever we can, and we do the best we can. But to be assured full consideration, you want it in by May 1st. If you can't get it in by May 1st, you're still collecting some items, please still apply. Chances are good plus that we can still get you in and you'll still start in the fall. Okay, so just so you know, May 1st is our deadline, which is quickly coming, which is crazy. All right, let's keep going. Now, the thing that we're most proud of, I'm going to tell you some attributes of the program, and we're really excited about this. And just so you know, we just revised this program completely from the ground up within 2 years ago because the state of Michigan told us we want all new teacher ed programs. And so we had to raise our programs to the ground, which means, razor it. to the ground, and then start brand new. And we took the good stuff from our old program and what we believe is the great stuff from new theory and research in teacher education, and we've built what we think is one of the best programs in the state. So let me just tell you some pieces of this. So first of all, we have a cohort model. If you don't know the term cohort, that's no problem. I did not know the term cohort before I was in a grad school. What that means is you travel together as a group, like your whole people that all enter the program, take every class together, and leave together. And what that does, you build relationships, you build camaraderie, you have the same people, and it is really what we believe. We did this intentionally because there's a lot more belonging, and people have a much better experience, quite frankly, when they have friends. And these are the people that you're going to be working with for a really long time. So you want to get to know some people in your field, and we believe the cohort model is a really great way to do this. We have a curriculum. We're going to go clockwise. We've built a whole innovative curriculum that really teaches you how to teach. And that may sound ridiculous. Of course it teaches how to. You're a teacher education program. Yes, that's true. However, for a very long time in teacher education, writ large, I mean, America, a lot of teachers would tell you, you go to these teacher ed programs and they don't teach you a lot about teaching. You got to learn it on your own. And that may have been true in the past, that people had to just go to teacher ed, you learn a few things, but really you don't learn to teach until student teaching and forward. We don't believe that anymore. We have rebuilt this curriculum so that it is practical, it is aligned with school needs, it is aligned with the job as it is today. And that's one thing we're really proud of. And it's a strong curriculum. And just so you know, this wasn't built by some dorky professor sitting in their office. This was some dorky professors, me included, working with area high school teachers and middle school teachers to build this together. And that's one thing that we really emphasize, which brings us to our next, the partnerships. Like the people that we work with in these buildings are, in most cases, people that we have worked with for numerous years. They know our curriculum, they know our program, they know us, and we have built a system together. So we sometimes, if somebody wants to be in a school that we don't generally work with, that's okay. You wouldn't have the same partnerships as we do if you work in our normal buildings that we work with usually, but you can choose outside of our partnership schools. We just are very proud of the fact that we have worked closely with high school and middle school teachers to build our program. Okay. Next on the little clock list here, we're at 5 o'clock, I think, is field placements. You are going to be in classrooms a lot. You are going to work under mentor teachers a lot, skilled mentor teachers. And this is something that we built in at the very base of our program is the partnerships and the field placements. What does it mean to teach? We can tell you a lot sitting in our university classrooms, but you don't really see the nuts and bolts of a school until you are out in it. And so we have a graduated system, which means the first term you take a little bit, the second term you do more, the third term you do even more, and then the fourth term, or however it works for you, is full-time in the schools, lead teaching. And so you will get a lot of experience in schools, and these have been very carefully built across numerous teachers and professors. Support. Because we have a system that all these people understand and have worked together to build, we offer more support than I've ever seen in teacher education. More support for you, more support on your journey, more support to growth. Like, where do you go for help? You could go anywhere of 5 places, and all the people know each other, know the system, and could help you. And so it doesn't always feel like that in grad school. Sometimes you feel lost. And we believe that, you feel lost, you don't know who to go to, you don't know what's happening. Like, for instance, you're on this call with me now. You could literally write me anytime. And I'm the coordinator of the program. I work with the coordinator of the field, and I'm the guy you want to ask questions to. And so is she, and she's the lady you want to ask questions to. But you're going to have direct access to us. We are not some, far away people. We're going to be in your classrooms with you and in your classes with you. And so we offer the most support that I've seen out of a graduate school for teacher education, and I'm proud to say that. Our instructors, next one up, our instructors are passionate, and they have all been teachers. Like we do not, think that just going to college is enough if you're going to teach teachers. You got to be a teacher, right? Like I taught in Toledo Public Schools for 10 years, and I wouldn't trade any of those 10 years. But you know what that buys me? Street cred. Like a lot of people look at me like, that dude's a teacher. Yes, I am. I'm a professor now, but I've been a teacher for so long, and so have my colleagues and everyone I work with. And so you are not just dealing with professors at the university, you're dealing with people who are passionate and experienced in education. Okay, so all of these features have been intentionally built to make our program better. So if you have any questions on any of those, we'd be happy to answer them. But I just wanted to show you in the rebuild of this system, this is what we made. Something that we believe is better for students, better for schools, and most specifically better for you. So that's the first thing. All right, let's keep going. So this, of course, this is called the Master of Arts in Teaching Secondary Education. We are called the STEP program, Secondary Teacher Education Program, STEP, but your degree is actually Master of Arts in Teaching in Secondary Ed. Okay, so we're going to look at this a little more later, but you have to choose a major, one major. Now, in the olden days, like 4 years ago, you guys were allowed to choose a major and a minor, like you might be a history major, English minor, or a, bio major, math minor. That is no longer the case. The state does not allow that anymore. That's how things used to be. And so when I said the state made us rewrite our programs, this is one of the things they made us change. Everybody changed, not just Oakland, everybody in the state. You have to choose an area: English language arts, mathematics, integrated science, or integrated social studies. And that area becomes your central focus while you're at Oakland and doing your student teaching and doing your placements. So if you are going to be an integrated science teacher, now ELA can teach anywhere from ELA 9 to ELA 12 to writing to comp, right? You can do yearbook, that kind of thing is ELA. Mathematics is all the mathematics. So you can teach trig, you could teach math, you could teach algebra, right? Integrated science includes 4 distinct disciplines: chemistry, earth science, physics, and biology. So if you become an integrated science major, you're certified in those 4 topics. In the same way, social studies, my area, you are certified in 4 areas also: history, civics or political science, economics, and geography. So the first thing you do is choose which one you want. One of those 4, and we get you started there. So we're going to keep going down this list. It's a 5-semester program total, with a total of 37 credits, which if you've ever looked across master's programs, that's actually pretty low. The lowest we were allowed to do was 34. And so we are right at the bottom of how many credit hours it takes to get a teaching certificate. So we're happy about that. When you graduate with your MATC degree, you are certified to teach what the state now calls grade bands, 2 different grade bands: the middle school grade band, 5 through 9, and the high school grade band, 7 through 12. Don't ask me why they started the high school at 7, but that's what the state decided. So you can be certified when you come to Oakland. When you pass your tests and do your student teaching, you are certified in both of these grade bands. So you are certified for both middle school and high school. Okay, let me see if there's any questions. Not yet. So what?
Dr.
Yeah,
So
yeah, sure.
we do actually got a question from Afia, and they asked about I'd like to know if a bachelor degree in education with 5 years of teaching in the field of education will qualify a candidate for a PhD program.
That is okay. So that depends on the PhD program. Like I have nothing to do with the PhD programs. So are you saying if you get this, could you then go on to a PhD program? Is that what you're asking? Or are you asking about you already have those things and you want to get into a PhD program?
Afia, if you want to unmute yourself and we can answer your question, or we can also, get more of this clarification at the end.
Either way is fine. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna just keep going and
Yeah,
maybe we can touch base on that at the end, okay?
sure. Feel free to let's hang around and we'll talk about it. And I'll see where you're at and what your situation is, and we'll see if we can help you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Oh, sure. Okay. So, what does this mean? So it's a 5 semester program, like I said, and you take classes at the university with me and my colleagues. You have placements in the schools, like we talked about. We'll talk more about those in a bit. And then you have to do what's called student teaching, a full semester long student teaching internship, which means you are in a high school or middle school all day, every day, lead teaching for at least like 7 or 8 of those weeks. Almost every class that you take, final bullet here, is Monday and Wednesday evening from 5:30 to 8:50. Monday and Wednesday evening, 5:30 to 8:50. Most of the classes are in-person classes. I think there is one fully online class, and there are sessions throughout that'll be online, but primarily the MATC program, the secondary ed program, is an in-person program, but you only need to be there almost every semester, Monday and Wednesday, no other days. Okay? So that what we tried to do was make it so you could plan and you can think about your life. Okay, I know my Mondays and Wednesdays are taken with class every week this term. We tried to simplify it. We hope that works. All right, we're going to keep going. This is taking longer than I thought. There's our 4 areas, just so you know. And what this slide is saying is that if you want to be a math teacher, there's a chance you're going to need to take some math classes you haven't taken before. If you're going to be an English teacher, there might be some English or literature classes you need, et cetera, et cetera. So you first start, just so you know, you get a transcript review by our team. Our people who work with you are always the same people, and they're amazing, and they know our programs. So you basically send them a transcript. They look at what you've taken, and they look at what you'll need. And so this is the MAT info. Just tell them you came here, tell them what you're interested in, and they'll tell you, send me this, which is generally going to be an unofficial transcript, and they'll lay out a plan for you. So you see exactly how long it'll take, exactly when you can take your prerequisite courses. Now, if you have a bachelor's in mathematics, you may not need any classes, right? So it just depends on what your bachelor's is in and what you've taken. All right, let's keep going.
Excuse me, Dr. Tuff.
Yeah, please.
Can you try resharing your slides?
Oh, no.
I don't know if it got locked in one
Oh,
of the.
yeah, that's strange. Yes, I will start. So it hasn't been sharing at all?
No, yeah, so it was sharing and then I think it got locked, maybe a glitch or something. So
Yeah, I think it is.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much for stopping me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's try this. It's just showing paused. I have no idea why. Okay, let me see. Does that do it? I don't know why it's not doing it. There is something happening here. Let me try my desktop.
Okay.
How's that? Is that
Oh,
showing?
yeah, and you can see it. Yes. Yeah,
Okay. So let me see if now I think this will work. Well, that's where we were. You know what? I'm just going to do this just for time's sake. Hopefully that's okay. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's perfect. Mm-hmm.
All right. It's not quite as professional, but we do our best.
Thank you.
All right. So let's keep going. So just so you know, I don't know where the things paused, but these were the slides, and you can have access to this if you need it. Okay. Now let's keep going. So the tuition is generally in state. It's $9.51 per credit hour. So, and you can see actually the elementary ed is 45 credits, special education is 53 credits, ours is 37, so it's considerably lower than other programs. And just so you know, the state of Michigan you can apply to receive the Michigan Educator Fellowship and Stipend. And our student teachers right now are getting a $9,000, $600 check just for student teaching and becoming a teacher. And it's a check to just help them through this term. Now, we hope the state of Michigan keeps this going because it's voted on each July for the next year. And for the past 3 years, they've said yes, and they've supported it. So this is an amazing opportunity right now that Michigan is offering. So it's not even just this stipend. See this $9,600 stipend. Other people have gotten both a $10,000 fellowship and the $9,600 stipend. Like, Michigan needs teachers. And most of the states in this country, particularly in the South, are lowering expectations, making it easier to become a teacher so that people who are not qualified are getting in the classroom. Michigan, on the other side of the thing, is actually investing and giving you money to become a teacher and trying to make it more affordable so high quality candidates will be teachers. So we hope we see that. We're really excited about this fellowship and the stipend, and it is worth looking into because this can help you pay for a lot of your schooling. Let's keep going. I have 10 minutes left. So what does it mean to get admitted? First of all, you need a bachelor's degree. To join the MATC program, that's the one I'm talking about, you have to already have your bachelor's completed. Okay. Afia, I'll look at this in 1 second. Just don't go anywhere, I promise. So let me just finish this thought. So you have to have a bachelor's degree and you apply. And then, of course, they look at what you have and they'll tell you what you need to take for prerequisites. We do like to see a 3.0 cumulative. It says required there, but we have ways around. If it's close to it, we have ways around it. But 3.0 is our high recommendation, and it makes things much easier if you have that. We ask you to get 2 online recommendations from people who have worked with you as a supervisor. And we had one person try to have their mom write a letter. We're like, no, we're not sure the mom letter is going to help. So you need a professional recommendation, 2 of them. You do have to show proof of English language proficiency if you are an international student. So that and really that's only so you can be successful. We just want you to be successful. You have to write a goal statement, which it'll give you the requirements in our application. You should have a resume ready to turn in. And then you may have to interview with me or someone else. It depends on, and if we see things that are remotely concerning in any of your things, we request a meeting and we talk you through it and see, because really at the end of the day, I don't want you to start this program unless I think you can finish this program, because it's just not good for you, right? It'd be good for me, but it's not good for you. And that's really, at the end of the day, you are the most important person here. And we got to make sure that you're in a good space to finish this if you're going to start it. Okay, let's keep going. Right here on this slide, you can see the layout of our coursework, right? You can see you'll start in fall. You'll have these. This one might move to this fall. Don't worry about that yet. But these classes in fall, these classes in summer, fall, winter, summer. So this is it's laid out so that you can finish this and you'll get certified right here. After you finish student teaching, you can be certified. Then you can take this last class to finish your master's degree. So if you want to put that last class off for a year, that's fine. It works because you can be certified and be a teacher and then take that last class later. Although we do recommend just to knock it out if you can. Okay, let's see if there's any questions. No. All right. And here's just a layout of our placements. The first term, you do a 30-hour placement. The second term, you do a 50-hour placement in a middle school. The third term, you'll do a 90-hour placement, which will be the same placement as your student teaching. Okay, so in student teaching, just if you don't remember, that's your full-time gig in the school as a teacher with a mentor teacher with you. So this term, this fall and this winter are the same classroom. So you'll be in the same classroom for the full fall winter term, and it's only here that you'll actually take over the classroom. Here you'll do a bunch of stuff in it, but winter 28 is where you would take over fully. And then here's our steps, and I've already talked you through those. May 1st is our deadline. It says July 15th, but it's not. It's May 1st. Okay, that is all I have. So let me go back to the question from Afia. What I meant in my earlier question is one can secure admission to a PhD program with a bachelor's without a master's degree. It depends completely on the PhD program. Yes, I've heard that. That's probably more common in one of the disciplines. Like, I think it's more common to go from a bachelor's in history to a PhD in history. Like some people say a master's degree in history doesn't do anything. So, yes, you can, Elena, no problem. Here's my email address. There you go. Yep, that's it. So it just depends completely on the bachelor's degree. For education, I think they would generally want you to have a master's degree, and it might be hard to get accepted in education if you didn't have a master's degree. All right, so that's my answer for that. We still have 6 more minutes. Thanks. And how do we fill out the waiver? Oh, the application fee waiver, is that what you're talking about, Elena?
Yes, that is.
Okay. Ruben, I'm sorry, is that how you say your name?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Ruben will be sending those, he said, in just a couple of days.
Yeah. So as long as I will share the link again for the ones that joined a little bit, later. And you just have to fill up with all your information, and we will send the code to you in 2 to 3 days. Okay. So just make sure you fill up that form with your information.
And you'll put it in the chat, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm
Thank
putting it in
you.
the chat
Thank
right
you.
now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And you can write me, Elena, with your questions.
Okay, will do.
All right. Good to meet you.
And we'd still
Okay.
have a couple more minutes if you guys still have any questions. I see Cynthia, it's ready to make a question, so you can take it away.
Actually, I'm here for the 4:30.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi. So I don't
Oh,
have
that's
any
perfect.
questions for Toof, but I will tell everyone on the call. It's a great program.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Carver. So young. I got you confused with one of our students.
Oh, thank you.
But okay, so yeah, we still have a couple more minutes. If anyone else has any questions, you can unmute yourself and just, state your questions, or you can also drop in the chat and we will try to answer as much as we can. Dr. Francis also posted his email,
right
his
here.
contact information on the chat. If you guys want to check it out, you can reach out to him, or you can also reach out to the graduate school if you have, questions about, requirements, the application process, and we'll be happy to help you. So we have a couple more minutes.
Right here, MAT info is the one. If you do want to have someone look at your transcripts, go to this. It's not working. I don't know why nothing's working for me today. But MAT info is where you want to go if you want someone to look at your transcripts and see what classes you still need. So I put that in the chat also. A woman named Erin, who's our dear advisor, will be in touch with you, and she'll give you a lot of personal attention.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Francis. I don't know if you're rather me calling you Dr. Toof.
Nah, Toof's good. Toof's way better.
Sounds good. Yeah, no, it was really, really good. Very good information. I appreciate you joining us today and,
Sure.
teaching a little bit more about the program. And thank you everyone that took some time to join this session. So I'll go ahead and conclude the session. If there's no more questions, if no one else, it's giving anything, I will conclude this session for the MAT and secondary education. And we're going to start getting ready for the 4 p.m. and 4:30, I'm sorry, with Dr. Carver in elementary education. Okay?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Tiff. Have a good one.
Bye.
See you, friend.
Bye.
And hello, Dr. Carver. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm really good.
Sounds good. Okay. I'm just gonna go over some housekeeping items before we start. Okay. I don't know if there's anyone else that joined just for this session, so we're just gonna get them up to speed. And then if you have any slides or presentation that you want to share, you can go ahead and share.
I will do that.
And I will start promptly at 4:30. Okay.
Okay.
And for whoever else that was in the chat, I'm dropping the waiver code again.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
No problem.
Are some of you staying on for the elementary presentation?
Yeah,
I hope so.
I think some of you joined here just for the 4:30, right? So if you If you're interested in more information about the MAT in elementary education, just stick around and we're gonna start at
Yeah.
4:30.
Yep.
At the end of the day, my English just starts to go away.
Ruben, where are you from originally?
I'm from Brazil originally, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I spent
Yeah.
a short time in your country.
Wow. Yeah, in the south or in the north part of
In the
Brazil?
north.
Oh, yeah, that's
I
nice.
came from Venezuela and I took a bus into Manaus.
Wow. Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah, and we weren't sure how long that bus would take. It was 23 hours. This
mm-hmm.
was 30 plus years ago, a long time ago.
Wow.
I was a Peace Corps volunteer in the Caribbean and had planned to do 3 months of traveling in South America. And we were so excited to go through Brazil. But my husband at the time, his father had just died. And we found out when we got to Manaus. And so we flew straight home.
Wow,
And I
that's
ended
interesting.
up, I had all of maybe 24 hours in your beautiful country.
Wow, well, Manaus is a really interesting,
Yeah.
state. So I am sure if you have the chance to go back just to explore a little bit more, I'm sure you would love it.
I want to. I want to so badly.
Nice and warm.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone, it's 4:30 now, so I'll
Yeah.
go ahead and start. So welcome everyone to our virtual graduate open house
Yeah.
here for the School of Education. This is break room A. Okay. So if you are looking for information on a different subject, this breakout room is for the initial certification and endorsements. Okay. So just be aware of that. If that's not what you're looking for, we have breakout room B and C. So go back to the main room and they will direct you to the correct break room. Okay. Again, I will remind everyone that it was here and the new people that just joined. If you want to receive an application charge waiver code, you need to fill up the form that I'm dropping in the chat. Fill up with all your information and you will receive a code in 3 days. Okay, so be patient. We will review all your information and we will send you a code within 3 days. Okay, so just be on the lookout for the email with the code, and we will send you a waiver for the application fee. Okay, if you're having any issues hearing or seeing this presentation, just drop it in the chat. Let me know what's going on and you try to figure it out, how to make this work. And if you have any questions for the presenter during this presentation, just write it on the chat or you can raise your hand and unmute yourself. And most likely at the end of presentation, we will, get to your questions. But it's up to you also, Dr. Carver, if you want, more interaction, then let us know. Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds
But
very good.
that's all I have for you guys. So with no further ado, I want to introduce Dr. Cynthia Carver, and she will be covering the MAT in elementary education.
That's correct.
Okay.
Thanks. Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much, Ruben, and welcome everybody. I'm so delighted to spend a little time with all of you. I'm going to get through these slides, and feel free, like Ruben said, ask questions as we go through the presentation. If you have them, drop your questions in the chat. Ruben, maybe I'll let you monitor that chat for me. And then there will be some time at the end as well. But I'm really delighted. I am Cindy Carver. Students call me Dr. Cindy. Sometimes they call me Dr. Carver, but often in the program they just call me Cindy. And that speaks a lot to the kind of program that we've got here we call it the MATI program, Master of Arts in Teaching. So that would be the MAT part, and then the EE adds the MATI. So that's the shorthand for the program. And this is the perfect program for someone who is a career changer, someone who has a master's, or I'm sorry, a bachelor's degree, and now wants to go into the classroom to be an elementary teacher. So in Michigan, that would certify you for a pre-K to 3 classroom. That's the first endorsement on the grade, for the grade band for the elementary, or a 3-6. So it's a PK3, 3-6 certification endorsed in both of those grade areas. And like I was starting to say, I'm Cindy Carver, and I'm one of our faculty members here. I teach in the program and I also coordinate this program. The individual that's not with me today is Erin Reinhart. She is home with her daughter, doing some after school projects with her daughter today that needed to happen. But she is our academic advisor, and she would be your next stop in the program, is to schedule a meeting with her one-to-one to answer questions if you still have them, or any questions about the application process. And Erin works alongside myself and another woman who does our field placements for us. Her name is Kara Lougheed. And between the three of us, you will feel a sort of that wrap around support from all of us. And when I said at the beginning that a lot of students just refer to me as Cindy, that speaks, I think, to the nature of the program that we've created. You join sort of this family and you're coming in with a cohort, and we're here to support you toward your goal of being the very best teacher that you can become. And let me take it away and start telling you about the program. But first, I want to just preface all of this by saying that this is a perfect time for you to go into teacher preparation. If it's something you've been thinking about for a while, and no doubt that's probably the case, this is a perfect time because there is a shortage. And as I'll explain at the end of the presentation, there are also some incentives for doing it now. We're finding that a lot of schools want to partner with us for the field placements, including student teaching, in part because they want to find out who are those young teachers going into the field. How can I nab them quickly and work them into our system? So we need the best teachers in front of our students. We always have, and we especially do today. And we know that you would be one of those top candidates. So one other quick thing before I get into the details of the program. I'm guessing everybody on this call has probably thought about teaching for some time, and for a variety of different reasons, you took a different path initially with your bachelor's degree. And it's so common, you'll all find, and you start talking to one another when you enter one of our programs, that this is something that many of us carry, just kind of this feeling like this is my kind of place. This is what I'm designed to do with my life. And it really is a wonderful, wonderful career. And there's the talk about pay and other things, but I'm here to tell you I've been doing this across my career span, and I couldn't be happier to be a teacher. It's wonderful work, it's very meaningful work, and it's really, really critically important work. So, in a nutshell, the Maddie program is designed for those of you who have a bachelor's degree, very likely in another field, and you're now seeking to be certified in teaching. Our students, as a result, range from recent graduates from a university program to those that are several decades into their career and are now making a shift. We are really happy and proud to say that we are a 2-year preparation program that is designed specifically for you to maintain the current position that you have. Some of you may have positions that you are currently working in a school system. We have a lot of paraprofessionals that come into the program, early childhood teachers, substitute teachers. But we also have people that are coming from engineering, or people that are coming from graphic design, or any number of different areas. And you may want to hold on to that position. And our program is designed for you to be able to do that. It's a 5-semester, 20-month program. It is 45 credits in length. There are no prerequisites, and that's really, really nice. So you know that those 45 credits are all that you're going to need to take. You're going to prepare for the 2 grade bands. We changed grade banding or certification in the state of Michigan about 5 years ago now. So you may not be aware that we now have those options of being PK, we say PK3 and 3.6. Our coursework, one of the things that I really, really appreciate about our program is that we get you into the field right away in that first semester. We want to give you a chance to have a supervised field placement every one of the semesters you're in the program, because that's so important. We can teach you a lot about how to teach on the university campus, but there's so much that you will learn by actually being in front of children and learning from observing and working side by side with a mentor teacher in one of our area schools. I mentioned our courses are designed so that you can maintain your current employment. Our courses are Tuesday and Thursday evenings. They start at 5:30. That is the typical start time for evening classes on campus, and they'll run until 8:50 at night. We also, because there's 2 semesters in the winter of your first semester and the fall of your second year, I should say not first semester, the winter of your first year and the fall of your second year. There's an additional course you take called Foundations. That's the course series that I teach, and that is a mostly online course. You're still here on Tuesday and Thursday for class, and then you have this mostly online course with once a month Saturday mornings. So the schedule looks like this. You start, we always start in the fall. That is the only time we start. So if you're thinking about the program, we want you to think about it for this fall. And if not this fall, then you would wait another entire year. The first year we start with your foundations courses, and you'll notice there are 4 foundations courses, and they run fall, winter. And in a lot of ways, it's it's like a homeroom because you're going to be with one instructor for the first year, a second instructor that works closely with the first year instructor. The second year, we're going to be that site where if you've got any concerns or questions beyond your coursework, that's going to be a good place for those to be answered. And it's also how we manage the field placements that you do. In addition to that, the first semester you take a course called Content for Teaching. That course is designed to introduce you to the content that you need to teach in the 4 main areas, subject areas. So you'll learn sort of the reading and writing, the literacy portion, social studies, science, and mathematics. And then from there, your foundations courses go deeper into educational psychology, the history of education, um, using technology for teaching, and a lot of things about diversity, equity, and inclusion, which would include working with special needs learners. And that will be covered in the foundation series. And then in addition to that, you take methods courses. These are courses that introduce you how to teach these subjects. So you've got 2 literacy courses, 2 math methods courses, 1 science and 1 social studies course. And then boom, before you realize it, you are student teaching. And that's a full-time commitment. At that point, you do need to be available full-time. The field placements, you'll notice here where they say 30-hour field placement over 10 weeks for the first year. And then in the summer, it's a 12-hour field placement. Those typically are, you're assigned to a building because we'll work with one single building for these placements. And then you will typically do that. Some people do it several times a week, but most people do a half day a week. So they might arrange to go in on Monday mornings or Friday mornings or Wednesday afternoons, and you arrange that with your employer if you're working during the day. All right. Just a couple things about kind of the program features. If you're looking at other programs, what distinguishes ours from others? One would be that it spreads over 2 years with evening classes that allow you to continue employment. Another is our cohort model. You take all of your courses in a sequence with the same group of students. And this has been something that is really a selling point for our students. The amount of camaraderie and support they give to one another is really, really incredible. And now you've got, like the group I'm working with right now, there are 19 of them in the cohort, and they have a built-in support system when they leave the program, and they know who to go to for various different things. It's just been a really lovely experience, and it's one of the things that really distinguishes OU's programs in a lot of areas, including the Maddie program. Our instructors, whether we are faculty members or whether they're part-time teachers, or I should say teachers that come and teach in our program part-time, are definitely expert in their field. They're passionate about what they do. We work really closely as a team because we want to make sure you have the very best experience possible. This work of learning to teach other people's children is so incredibly important. Not only does your curriculum need to be good, but the instructors teaching that curriculum have to be top-notch, and we ensure that. We're here to help you with your journey and help you support you in all the ways that you need to be successful. Like I said, there are 3 of us that work really closely with you, and that would be myself, Erin, your academic advisor, and then Kara, who is our field coordinator. So we work to make sure that you are well supported in the program. I've mentioned the curriculum. This is a newly redesigned program. This is year 3 of this program. We believe we offer just really current and innovative curriculum to meet your needs so that you're prepared for the students that we have today and the students that we'll have tomorrow in our classrooms. I mentioned our partnerships. Your first year, you will be placed in a school where right now with our 19 students, for example, we have 2 different schools in 2 different districts where all of our students are placed, so that you will probably be in a building with a number of other people from your cohort, which is actually kind of nice because you can share stories and experiences and support one another in that experience. Your second year in the program, you get what's called a final field placement, and it will be in the classroom that you student teach in the spring. So in the fall, in September, you'll get a placement, and in a sense, that's your year-long placement. You'll only do 40 hours a week, so you'll be in there a half day a week, basically, during the fall, getting to know the kids, the system, the curriculum, certainly your mentor teacher, and then you'll be full-time in January when you're completing your student teaching. And I've already mentioned the field placements. One other thing, we have our literacy program is unique in that you take your literacy courses in a community center. The 2 semesters you take that course because you're going to be tutoring and working with students one-on-one as you help them read. And you'll spend time with your instructor and you'll spend time with the students. And that'll go back and forth. And I'm talking the little students, your early childhood, PK3, and then 3-6 students. So that gives, I feel like I'm rushing through all of this. Are there any questions before I talk further about the application process? I'm going to try and use wait time. We say a good wait time for a teacher is 90 seconds. You've got to give people a chance to think about what questions they might have.
That's right. Yeah, and we still have a good amount of time, so.
Yeah. Okay. Let me move to the next one. We are really fortunate here in Michigan right now. Because of the teacher shortage, there's an incentive for you to think about entering a teacher preparation program. This is something that the state legislature has made available. It is on an annual basis. We do not know whether or not these funds will be available next year, but we believe there's a very good chance they will be. It is something that is supported by both sides of the House and Senate, both the Republican and Democrat sides. And what we have and are able to offer is a tuition fellowship and a student teaching stipend. So you can get roughly $10,000 as a student in the program when you're full time. So the first year and a half, you're able to apply for this fellowship and get $10,000 a year. The commitment that you have is that you'll stay in Michigan and teach. And I think for most of you, that's probably something that you would be willing to do or interested in doing, because very likely you have settled in this area. The other thing is we have almost $10,000 stipend for student teaching. And that is a really wonderful thing because it used to be that you would student teach and you'd have to pay your tuition and all of the other costs associated with that, including driving to and from your site. And now the state has provided funds so that you get this almost $10,000 stipend for student teaching. So we're hopeful that these will continue. And it will make the cost of attending and getting your teacher certification affordable. We also have financial aid, and Erin, if you meet with Erin, she can walk you through all of that, because we certainly don't want anyone to not consider a degree in education because of the cost. All right, timeline. As I mentioned, all of our new cohorts start in the fall, and the deadline is roughly January, July 15th. We want to have our cohort filled by then. We do often accept applications into the early part of August, but ideally we want that locked up by the 15th. Now, I need to mention something else. If any of you live in Macomb and might be interested, we are looking to open a cohort that meets over at the Macomb Community Campus, Community College Campus at the Macomb University Center, which is off of Hall Road. And they will have the same nights of classes, Tuesday, Thursdays in the evening with Saturdays, but all of those field placements will all take place over in the Macomb area, and it doesn't mean driving to campus. We also will have a campus cohort. That campus cohort right now, I mentioned we have 2 schools we place in. We have one school in the Rochester Community Schools, so it's close to campus. And then our other school is over in Sterling Heights in the Utica schools. All right, now the admissions requirements. These are pretty standard across all of our programs, but of course you do need a bachelor's degree for this program. There's an online application. As Ruben mentioned at the beginning, your $40 application fee is waived because you participated today. We do need your official transcripts. We do look for a 3-point cumulative GPA, although if yours is below that, and you can give us a rationale for why it's below that and why you anticipate being able to maintain at least a 3 and above, a B or better in your classes, we can look at a conditional admit, because sometimes people struggled with their undergraduate degree. 2 online recommendations. They come from someone that's in a supervisory relationship to you, ideally not a family member. And if you're an international student, we do need proof of English language proficiency. We also ask for a goal statement. We give you a couple prompts to write to, but we're looking that this is, the right career path for you. a resume. And then if we have any questions about your application, we may call you in for an individual interview. All right, so the application process is number one, review the admissions requirement. And if you have questions or just want to reach out, Erin would love to set up a Zoom appointment with you. That's a good first step, just to answer any final questions you might have, even the questions you have after this presentation. Complete the grad school application, and then of course we're looking for, you applying before July 15th. One thing I will mention is we've got 2 grad assistantships available. We're probably going to fill those in May or early June. So the sooner you apply, if you're interested in a grad assistantship, apply now. All right, I'm free for questions. No
Thank you,
questions?
Dr. Carver, for all the very valued information. So yeah, if one of you have questions, please just drop in the chat or raise your hand and unmute yourself. If there's any comments or any other, anything else that you wanted to talk about, just feel free. We still have like 5 minutes left in the session, so this is your time.
Yeah, I would love to know what questions you have, or if you're kind of shopping around and what stands out for our program. I would love to use these last 5 minutes to hear from you. And Maya, your name is familiar to me.
Yeah, I had previously applied to the program a little over a year ago.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to take a year just to kind of figure out my career goals, but I have recently reapplied for admission to the program.
I'm delighted. I can't wait to meet you.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet you too.
Yeah.
And just a reminder for some of you that maybe joined a little bit later, I am dropping the link for the waiver code for the application fee in the chat. Okay. Just don't forget to fill it up the form with all your information, and it will take about 3 days for us to send you a code then you can use to apply. Okay, so be patient while you wait for the code. If for some reason the code, the link, it's not working or it's not working properly, just send us an email. Okay, reach out. I will drop the graduate school contact information here on the chat as well, so you guys can send us an email, and we'll try to figure it out, what's going on. So
looks like we've got one question, Ruben.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Tashalia, if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hi there.
Yeah, so I wanted to know if there was a link to the waiver, and then Ruben just gave info about the fact that he was going to post it, and also because it's inactive at the moment, so I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
So yeah, I just posted on the chat the link again for the form, and it should be working right now. So if you guys want to, give it a try, let me know if it's still giving you any error messages or anything, and I'll try to figure it out what's going on, but it should be working properly right now. And I don't see any more questions popping up.
Yeah, and I
So
see Erica's here.
if you don't have any other questions, I would like to thank you, Dr. Carver, for all the amazing information. Thank you for joining us today. And also everyone that took some time to join this session to learn a little bit more about the programs. And I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this session then. It's 4:58 right now, so we're just a couple minutes away from our next section. It looks like Dr. Ruegg is already here to talk a little bit about the MAT and K-12 special education. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. And thank you again, Dr. Carver. Have a good day.
Nice to meet you,
Appreciate it.
Ruben.
Nice to meet you too. Bye-bye. Hello, Dr. Ruegg. How you doing?
I'm good. Hello.
Okay, so it's 4:59 right now. If you have any slides or presentation, you can share your screen, okay? I think a few people just joined for this session, so I'm gonna go over some housekeeping items, and then I will introduce you and you can take it away from there. Sounds good?
Okay.
All right. Okay, so welcome to Oakland University Virtual Graduate Open House for the School of Education and Human Services. Thank you for joining us to learn more about our graduate programs. This is the breakout room for initial certifications and endorsements. So if you're here to learn more about certifications and endorsements, you're in the right place. Now, if you're looking for information in other fields, then I will suggest you to go back to the main room and they will direct you to the correct breakout room. Okay, so you can do this right now. I will remind everyone that is here that if you wish to receive the application charge waiver code for the free application, you must request from the application waiver code by filling up the form. Okay, I will drop the link one more time on the chat, and you can access the link, fill up with all your information, and it will send a code for you in 3 days. So be patient while we go over all the information and send you the code for a free waiver. If you're having any issues hearing or seeing this presentation, please use the chat to communicate with us, and we'll try to help you figure out what's going on so you can, hear and see all the information that has been presented. And if you have any questions to the presenter during the presentation, please type them at the chat. We will, address them at the end of this presentation, or you can raise your hand and we can have you unmute yourself and interact with us, okay, with your questions. So at this time, I just would like to introduce Dr. Erica Ruegg, and she will be presenting on the MAT of K-12 Special Education Program. Thank you, Dr. Ruegg.
Thank you. Yeah, just like Ruben said, I am presenting about the Masters in Arts and Teaching K-12 and Special Education Program here at the university. Our MAT programs, our Masters in Arts and Teaching programs, elementary, secondary. If you're just in the chat earlier with Cindy, Dr. Carver, she did the MATI, the elementary program. So now I'm talking about the special education option, where you can do concentration in learning disabilities or emotional impairment. I'm Dr. Erica Ruegg. I'm coordinator of all special education programs at Oakland University, including this program. This is a initial certification program, which is different than other ways you can become a special education teacher in the state of Michigan, where you don't have to have a teaching certificate. So this is the initial cert, and it's directly into either learning disabilities or special education. Program runs in cohorts. that start in the summer 2 in July. So 2026, it'll be July. I can't. Application deadlines for this program, I put in there kind of flexible. We are planning on trying to do orientation for this program by June 23rd, I believe. So as long as the application gets in before then, you should be okay. But it's kind of open-ended otherwise. So just like the other MAT programs, the features are that we run a cohort, which seems to be likable by a lot of students. This is, like I said, considered an experimental program. So it's a different way that you can become a special ed teacher in Michigan that MDE, the Department of Education, has allowed us to explore. Usually, if you want to become a special ed teacher in Michigan, you have to become a gen ed teacher first, and then you add an endorsement in a disability area. At Oakland, we offer endorsement options in learning disabilities, emotional impairment, and autism. For this program, you just have to have a bachelor's, and then you would go into special education directly without the gen ed cert. So innovative curriculum, expert instructors, a lot of support, a lot of access to students in the field and different areas. Because it is K-12, you would be doing elementary and secondary special ed field hours to get an idea of what those areas are like. So this program is designed for individuals who hold a bachelor's. It can be in any field, and you're looking to go into teaching special education in the state of Michigan. It includes a master's degree and then certification for those areas in the state. It's about a 2-year program, 7 semesters, and 47 credits. Now, we actually just got approved by the Graduate Council to reduce this program, which is awesome. And it would get you your certification sooner because we were able to drop some credits at the end of the program, which is great. You would have to choose between emotional impairments or learning disabilities. We don't offer autism in this particular program. And you're really looking at teacher education coursework. So we're going to talk to you about how to be a teacher in general, like for all students, then specifically how to teach students in the areas of emotional impairment, learning disabilities, or special education as a whole. And you'll do lots of work in the field. You'll have different hours, and then you'll have a traditional 15-week-long student teaching internship. Almost all the courses, all the special education courses that you would be taking in this program are fully online. There's only a couple that have some meetings, but are generally hybrid. So it's a pretty accessible program. Just to give you an idea of what the course sequence is like, you'd start in summer with 2 courses. Both programs or program concentrations take those classes in the summer. Then you would be taking about 2 courses plus field hours every semester till it culminates. Winter 2028. Did I switch that? It's hard to keep track of dates now, looking so far ahead. With student teaching. And now that we are able to modify the program and have dropped those last 2 courses, then students now can get their certification in those areas at the end of the winter semester instead of having to wait till summer when those other classes were taken. There's just a breakdown of what tuition is per hour at Oakland. You can look at the links. Again, we've reduced it to 47 credits, so it's in line more with some of the other MAT programs. This program also, the students are eligible for the Michigan Fellowship, and the other funding are the stipend, right? When you do student teaching, which is awesome. But there's also a lot of funding available through the state of Michigan for special education teachers, since there's such a shortage, including things like Grow Your Own grant, which would be done through school districts if you happen to be working through one. There's a special education tuition reimbursement. And Oakland now has, I believe, 5 different scholarship grant options through the university that are just for those interested or going into special education, which is great. We just had a new one added. So admission requirements, you have to have a bachelor's degree, complete the application. You need a 3.0 or higher in your bachelor's. It doesn't mean you can't be admitted if you don't have a 3.0, but you would be looked at more closely and would be admitted on limited standing, they call it at the university. You need one recommendation from someone who knows about your work with kids and your potential in the program. International students, you need the proficiency exam. Your transcripts need to be evaluated, those kind of things. Goal statement, your resume or curriculum vitae. Interviews don't necessarily happen often in this program. We are just now moving into our 5th cohort, but we definitely will contact you if there's any questions or concerns or things that we need to address directly after you apply. So first step is to review the requirements, then complete the application, get it in before June, that'd be great, and we'll get you going. Erin Reinhart is the academic advisor for all MAT programs. She would be a good person to contact if you have any questions. There's also the MAT info site, which is again for all MAT programs. Or you can contact myself if you have any questions. That's
awesome.
it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hugh. I would like to open now for any questions. If any of you have questions related to the MAT and K-12 special education, now's the time that you can, submit your questions on the chat, or you can raise your hand and unmute yourself. If you also want to comment or talk about anything related to this session, you're more than welcome to. And also, if you guys have any questions about application or requirements, I can also take those questions. We do have a question here on the chat. If I'm already a special ed teacher, but want a master's in special education, which program is for me? MIT K-12 special ed or MED special ed?
MED special ed. The MEDs are for those who already have a teaching certificate. And special education, if you already have an endorsement in another special education area, that would just play into that you have an endorsement. To be in the MED, you have to have a teaching certificate to which an endorsement can be added. And that we offer EI, LD, and ASD. The MAT K-12 is if you don't have any teaching certificates or endorsements at all, and you want to go directly into special education.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Hopefully that answers your question, Bridget. Do we have any other questions?
The presentation for the MED and graduate certificates are next, Bridget, if you're wanting to stick around.
Yeah, our next session, it starts at 5:30. 5:30, yeah. So we do have another, 15 minutes or so. So yeah, just stick around, and you're gonna be presenting that one as well, correct, Dr. Ruegg?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Let me see if there's anything that came here. Okay. Okay, so if there's no questions, we can take a quick 10-minute break, and we will resume here at 5:30. And we're gonna go over the endorsement and certificates. So I will drop in the chat the link for the waiver code. So just to remind all of you, you do need to fill it up the form, submit your information, and then we will send you a code in 3 days. Okay, don't forget to do that if you want that waiver code for the application. And then if you have any other questions, don't hesitate in reaching out to us. I'll drop in the chat also the graduate school here email for the graduate school. You can always reach out if any other questions come up on a later time. We're gonna take a quick break, quick 10-minute break, and I'll be back here to go over with endorsement certificates with Dr. Hewitt. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Hewitt. Hello, everyone. It's currently 5:29 p.m. and we're going to start getting ready for our next session with Dr. Ruegg on Masters of Education and Graduate Certificates in Special Education. Okay, just a reminder for the ones that join us right now. If you are looking for information in other areas, it might be in a different breakout room. We do have 3 breakout rooms going on at the same time here. This one is the breakout room A for initial certifications and endorsements. So if you're looking for this kind of information, you're in the right place. If not, just go back to the main room and they will direct you to the correct breakout room. If you wanted to receive an application charge waiver code for a free application, you must fill up the form. And I will drop the link one more time in the chat. You can access the link, fill up with your information, and we'll send you a code for the free application waiver. If you're having any issues hearing or seeing the presentation, just send us a message on the chat and we'll try to address the situation as much as we can. And if you have any questions for the presenter during the presentation, just type them into the chat or raise your hand and we will unmute you so you can state your question, okay? Preferably at the end of the presentation so we can cover all the topics. So with no further ado, I want to introduce one more time Dr. Erica Ruegg. Thank you for joining us today, and she will be presenting on the Masters of Education and Graduate Certificates in Special Education. Thank you, Dr. Ruegg.
Thank you. Can you still see my screen there?
Yes, I can see it. Yeah,
okay.
Everything's working.
All right. Yeah, so Erica Ruegg here. As I said before, I think both of you who are in the chat were there. I'm faculty and coordinator of all special ed programs at Oakland University. So now I'm going to talk about our MED, or Masters in Education and Special Education, and graduate certificates that are just to get an endorsement in a particular disability area at the university. So coordinator, that's me. You can send me an email. We also offer an ABA program that's sort of different because it's not teacher preparation. So Dr. Michael Kranick is the one to contact about that program, but I will be going over that in a minute. So Masters of Education programs in Special Education first. These are master's programs that are focused on exceptionality in the areas of autism, learning disabilities, or emotional impairments. And then applied behavior analysis, that's what ABA is for. They look at development and depth preparation for working with kids in those particular areas, gives advanced training, looks at theory, research, and application for working with children, in most cases in those areas of disability, or applied behavior analysis is like a behavior modification program. So like I said, our areas of concentration. So if you want a master's in education, the MDE, it would be special education in the area of emotional impairment, learning disabilities, autism, or applied behavior analysis. And that degree would come from the university as an MDE. And then if you are interested in a graduate certificate, we offer those in each one of our programs, but the ones for emotional impairment, learning disabilities, and autism are specifically for teaching in the state of Michigan, where you would add an endorsement in those disability areas to your teaching certificate that's already there. This is different than the MAT K-12 special ed program I just talked about, and that you don't have to be a certified teacher in that program to apply to that program. For the graduate certificates, you have to have a teaching certificate already in which the state of Michigan can add an endorsement in those disability areas too. We also have a graduate certificate in applied behavior analysis, but all programs, the master's and the grad certificate in ABA, are geared towards you becoming a BCBA, board certified behavior analyst, which is a national exam that you would be prepared for and take after you complete the program. One pathway just offers a master's, the other one is just a certification from the university, but both you would sit for the exam. And it's not teacher prep focused. So for the master's in special education for emotional impairment, learning disabilities, and autism, you have to either have or be eligible for, which means you'll be getting the teaching certificate by the end of the program in the state of Michigan to be able to be in that. You can opt in those programs to just get a master's in those concentration areas, which you would do through what we call exit option B, where you would replace the student teaching credits with electives, and then it would just be a master's degree from Oakland University, nothing else. You wouldn't be able to become certified to teach anything in the state of Michigan through that route. All of the coursework in all three of those programs are delivered fully online, except for student teaching. If you want the endorsement, that's done in person, obviously in a qualified setting for those disability areas. The masters in EI and LD are 40 credits. The autism masters is 45 credits. The graduate certificates in emotional impairments and learning disabilities, again, you have to have a teaching certificate in the state of Michigan to be eligible for these programs. There is no other reason for anyone to be enrolled in the graduate certificate in those areas. If you don't have that, you can't just do it to get the information, right? And again, all programs, courses are fully online except for practicum or student teaching, which is done in person. All of our graduate certificates, except for the ABA one, have a basic and advanced option. Basic is for those who do not have any other special education endorsements on their teaching certificate. In EI and LD, that's 32 credits. And then an advanced option, which means that you have to have at least one other endorsement in special education. So Bridget, I believe that you would qualify for this. But you said you're interested in the MD, in the master's. That's 20 credits. That's the minimum the state requires. Includes student teaching. The advanced programs have a fall start only just because of the way our course schedule is set up. It's pretty strict, and we're a very small program. The autism graduate certificate is very similar. It just has different credits. Again, you have to have a teaching certificate. All courses except for the student teaching are fully online. There's a basic option. That one's 28 credits. And it seems like it's less credits than the EI and LD. However, it's actually more classes because the credits in our autism program for courses are 3 instead of 4. So it's cheaper, I guess you could say, but it's actually more courses. And then the advanced option, again, you have to have it, at least one other special education endorsement to qualify for that. And it has a fall only start. The one other option that we do have as a graduate certificate in autism is called multiple disciplines. This is for someone who doesn't want to become a teacher, but wants the background in autism and how to work with kids in autism. So you wouldn't be doing practicum because you wouldn't qualify for it through this program, but it would give you some great information and expertise in autism. That's 24 credits. And then the Master's of Special Education and Applied Behavior Analysis. This is a program that trains you on how to work in behavior analysis. So applied behavior analysis, it's more clinical. Being a BCBA really involves a lot of clinical training, a lot of field hours, but we've added that to our special education master's option. That's 43 credits, and all ABA programs have a fall cohort start and an interview that's required for that. They're doing that right now as we speak to get ready for fall enrollment. And then the graduate certificate, we just narrowed it down to one option for graduate certificates. There used to be a basic and comprehensive. Now there's just one. That's 25 credits. But this is just designed as a graduate certificate level to prepare you to become a BCBA. Oh, and then this program, you have to have already had a master's degree. So then it would mean that you aren't going for the master's in ABA because you already have one. And you're just getting the credentials you need to be able to sit for the board exam. That's the programs that we have that are MDE and graduate certificate. Really, the difference in those with the teacher prep ones are that you have to already be a teacher in the state of Michigan if you're looking to get an endorsement. All the programs generally follow the application deadlines for graduate school, but it's kind of open-ended. Just pay attention to the advanced programs that have a fall only start, and the ABA programs absolutely have a fall only start. Contact me. I am in charge technically of all special ed programs. There's 15 different program options for you to do special ed at Oakland University, and I'm coordinator of all of them. So I'm definitely a person to ask if you have any questions. ABA, again, because it's not teacher prep, it's a little different. So it's probably better to go to the direct source with Dr. Kranick. He's our head advisor in that area. But I can also answer questions there too. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Doctor, again for all the information. And yes, now we would like to open for questions. So if any of you have any questions, or if you want to, say something, any comments, we're welcoming you to, unmute yourself, and we can have some interactions here. If not, then, we can conclude this session. And if there's any questions that come up, in a later time that you're not thinking about it right now, we can always reach out to Dr. Ruegg or even to us here. Okay, I do have a question here from Elizant. Do international students qualify? Or
Yeah,
Elizant?
you would qualify to just get a master's. Yes, you could do that through exit option B, we call it, where the student teaching would be replaced with electives. Otherwise, you would have to be a certified teacher in the state of Michigan, which international students have been in the past. But the focus really would be is whether or not you're wanting the teaching credentials in the state or not. But for EI, for learning disabilities, emotional impairments, and autism, you can just apply for the Master's in Special Education program. But if you don't have that teaching certificate in Michigan, then you wouldn't qualify for a teaching certificate. That's all. The ABA program, I believe, yes, they do take international students, but that is not a fully online program. So you would have to be in the state of Michigan to participate.
All right. Yeah, and Elizant, if you have any other questions related to international students' applications and requirements, you can also reach out to us here at the graduate school, and we'll give you more information about. I'm just putting on the chat the email where you can reach out to us. And yeah, just feel free to reach out and ask whatever other questions are related to international students. We can definitely help with that as well, and direct you to the right person if it comes to that. Okay. Do we have any other questions? All right, I don't see anything here. We do have another session starting at 6 p.m. and we're going to be covering the Masters in Education in Early Childhood Education. So if you're joining our breakout room right now, interested in the Masters of Education in Early Childhood Education, just stick around, okay? And we're gonna start that around 6 p.m. It's 5:43 p.m. right now here in the United States. So if there's no more questions, I will conclude this session. And thank you again, Dr. Ruegg, for all the information and for taking the time to join us. Thank you everyone that took some time to be here and to listen and learn a little bit more about the programs that we have here to offer at Oakland University. Thank you very much. We can take a quick break and we'll resume at around 6 p.m. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. Welcome to the Oakland University Virtual Graduate Open House for the School of Education and Human Services. And thank you for joining us to learn more about our graduate programs. Just a reminder, this is the breakout room A for initial certification and endorsements. So if you are interested in any other topics, it might be in one of the other breakout rooms. So just go back to the main room and they will direct you to the correct breakout room. If you're looking for more information in the Masters of Education in Early Childhood, you're in the right place. So just a reminder, if you wish to receive an application charter waiver code for a free application, you must complete the form with all your information, and we'll send you a code that you can use to apply for free. Okay, I will drop the link on the chat right now, and just don't forget to fulfill all the information, and we will send you a code in 2 to 3 days. So be patient while we process all that information. If you're having any issues hearing or seeing the presentation, please let us know. Use the chat and just tell us what the error is, and we'll try to figure it out how to help you with that. And if you have questions during the presentation, you can put them in the chat or raise your hand, and we will address them at the end of our presentation. So with no further ado, I would like to introduce Dr. Julie Ricks-Doneen, and she will go over the Master of Education in Early Childhood. Thank you, Doctor.
No, thank you. Welcome to I'm trying sorry, I gotta pull over your so Bridget, hi, and Elisante, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. You're welcome to pronounce it for me. I like to pronounce correctly. I don't know if you can hear me or not. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and change my screen to large view. There we go. So this session is about the Masters of Education in Early Childhood Education. And for some reason, it's not letting me go to the next slide. Okay. Oh, there we go. So my name's Julie Ricks-Doneen, and I'm an associate professor and also the coordinator of early childhood. So I oversee the undergraduate programs and the master's programs. Our PhD program has an additional coordinator, and she was on it earlier today. So we're in the School of Education and Human Services in the Department of Human Development and Child Studies. And I'll just say something quick about that because we are also part of the teacher preparation programs in the School of Education and Human Services. But the Human Development and Child Studies department encompasses early childhood and special education, while the Department of Teaching and Learning encompasses elementary and secondary education. So we'll just clarification about that in case you're wondering about where you would be. So the Master of Education, or MED, in Early Childhood Education is a graduate level program. The Master's in Early Childhood is a fully online program with a combination of both synchronous and asynchronous classes. So almost all of the instructors have a schedule where there's some weeks when all students meet together via Zoom and have an interactive class, and then some weeks where you meet, or you don't meet, sorry, you do work on your own. Could be a discussion board, assignments, working on projects in between the synchronous classes that are scheduled. It's a broad interdisciplinary focus, combining early childhood general education and special education. And early childhood is defined by our sort of guiding national organization, the National Association for the Education of Young Children, as encompassing from birth through age 8. And actually in some of the child development classes, there's also discussion about prenatal development as well. Our program combines theory and practice and provides training through course projects to work with children and families. We emphasize a multicultural perspective as well as an inclusive perspective, focusing on the need for programs that respect and respond to developmental variability and exceptionalities. So we do focus our work and our readings and our projects on both multicultural and developmental variability in children, and working with the families and guardians of people who are raising those children. There's 2 levels of courses in the program, and level 1 courses equal 26 credits. These are the courses. I'm going to just say really briefly a little bit about each course. The theories course, 6600, is pretty much what it sounds like. It's theories of child development and education. It's looking at theorists who have sort of guided the work of early childhood education from different lenses and from different approaches in their research and things like that. The family, child, and learning in the cultural context class, we're really taking a look at the role of culture and family on the impact of child development, and how we approach working with families who come from different backgrounds. The Applied Developmental Principles class, we call that one the curriculum class for shorthand. And that is a class that takes a look at different educational curriculum, particularly in early childhood. So there's lots of different curricula to explore and think about and reflect on and understand. The adult-child interactions, play in the mediation of learning, highlights the very important role of play in early childhood from birth to age 8 in terms of how children learn and how we interact with children throughout any given day. Observation and assessment also is pretty much what it sounds like. It's a look at lots of different ways to observe and assess children in order to make decisions about what's going to happen next, decisions about how to best support them, and decisions about how to talk with families about their children's development and progress. And then the teacher as child advocate and adult educator class is an advocacy class, and students complete an action advocacy project in that class. So it's very widely ranging depending on what our master students' interests are. Sometimes depending on where they are working, if they're working full time. And so that's an advocacy issue. It can range anywhere from the importance of exercise to literacy to even reaching out more broadly to state and national advocacy efforts that are going on. The level 2 courses equal 12 credits, and 6,900 is what we call our elective. And that can vary semester to semester, which elective is offered. Additionally, we work with students if they have another topic. For example, if they want to take an additional special education class or counseling or something along those lines, we talk through with students what that elective might be. And then there's a 2-phase research project that culminates the master's program. So the project Phase 1 focuses on developing a literature review around a particular interest or topic. And phase 2 involves completing an action research project about that topic. So you're designing your research question, you're deciding on what methodology you would use, and then collecting data and reporting about that data that you collected during an action project. Sorry, I want to go just back here for just a second. And please feel free to ask questions too. Generally, in our master's program, most of the students who apply for and complete the program are already working in the field. It's not a requirement by any means, but we just find that most of our students are already teaching somewhere in the early childhood field, either as teachers, as coaches, as early childhood consultants, and they're ready to sort of take their education to the next level by getting their master's project. Many people are working full-time while completing the master's program. So being an fully online course with courses in the evening, student feedback has helped us understand that that's really quite doable to do a master's in that way while you're working full-time. Students will vary in terms of the number of courses they want to take in a semester. Some students take one course in a semester. Sometimes students will opt to take 2 courses in a semester, and that really just depends on the individual student, what kind of work they have going on, what kind of personal life they have going on, including children, caring for parents, any of those things. So it's flexible. I don't think we've ever had anybody take more than 2 classes in a semester. That would be a pretty heavy load. So I just wanted to mention that, though, in terms of real life expectation for entering a master's program, our students often are working in the field already and often working full time. In terms of financial support, there is something called the Teach Grant through our state organization, the same one I mentioned before, but it's the Michigan Association for the Education of Young Children. This one in particular varies a little bit. Right now, it's on hold for master's students, unfortunately. And it's only offered at the undergraduate level, but that has changed back and forth over time, and we watch that pretty closely. So if that funding comes back, we try to get that word out to master's students right away so that you could apply for the Teach Grant through Michigan AEYC. There are also department scholarships available. I just, on a personal note, I've been on the scholarship committee for our department and lead the scholarship committee. And I always say, I'm sort of a broken record. I say, apply, 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 because sometimes the funds, the donors have provided for scholarships don't get applied for. The donors want that money to be used. So I just sort of stress the fact that, all students should apply for scholarships. At OU, the process has become more streamlined. And Ruben, you might say more about this, but it's one application, and then it's sent to all the scholarship funds that are applicable for your background. I hope that I've depicted that correctly, but it used to be applying for individual scholarships. Now it's one scholarship application that goes to many different places. And then of course there's financial aid for all students at Oakland University, which requires probably what you've done at your undergraduate level, or if you're not in the United States, you might have a different system, but basically it's filling out some paperwork that allows the university to determine what you're eligible for, how much, and so on. The one thing that's not up on this slide, I have to think about adding that next year, is also at the master's level, there are also graduate assistantships at the master's and doctoral level. So that's an additional, those are, there are fewer of those, and each semester we learn as a department how many master's graduate assistants we will be able to support and how many doctoral students, but that's something else to look into. And I just actually sent the link to that to someone I had a meeting with yesterday who wants to start the master's program. So, program-specific admission requirements is a completion of an undergraduate or graduate degree with at least 24 credits in education, the humanities, social sciences, health, or related field. So, but kind of think broadly about that related field. Social sciences might encompass counseling, social work, and so on. And so that's, we look at that. And then cumulative GPA of 3.0, that there are exceptions to that, but that's where we start looking at the qualifications. And then demonstrating potential for successes in the program. So the graduate study admissions requirements are an online application, and as Ruben mentioned, if you want to get the code for that waiver for that application fee by attending this open house, that's a nice perk. We would be getting your official transcripts, having trouble talking tonight. Transcripts providing proof of a bachelor's degree, official transcripts for all colleges and universities attended, including if you've taken any graduate level classes anywhere else beyond the bachelor's degree. International transcripts are evaluated by NACES, which is the National Association. We love acronyms, right? But National Association of Credential Evaluation Services, in case you're interested what NACES stands for. And then asking for 2 recommendations from people that you know, people that you've worked with, or people that you've interacted with on projects, or someone that you think can represent your capability and motivation really well. If needed, there's also a proof of English language proficiency. And the international supplemental application has to be submitted prior to an issuance of the I-20. The application deadlines are July 15th for a fall start. So if you wanted to start in fall of 26, you would need to apply by July 15th of 2026. If you wanted to start in winter of 2027, you would apply by November 15th of 2026. And the link is there in the slide. For program-specific information, you would contact me. We get, I forget what they're called, I think they're called inquiries about programs. And I respond with an email to see if the potential student wants to meet via Zoom or by phone to have a more one-on-one conversation about the program and talk about interests and things like that. And then for general graduate school information, you would contact Todd Steele at the email provided there and the phone number provided there.
Great. Thank you so much for all the information, Doctor.
Sure. And I'm open to questions. I'm going to stop sharing if I can figure out how to get
do
there.
have a question here on the chat. Bridget asked, does this program require an internship?
No, the master's level does not. The research part 1 and part 2 is sort of the capstone of the program, but it's not an internship out in the field. Partially because, like I said, many of our students are already full-time working teachers. So they're coming back to get that additional level of learning and practice. Thanks for asking that, though, Bridget. Yeah, there's all kinds of master's programs. So some have a research project, some have an internship. Yeah, great question, though.
And Bridget, feel free to unmute yourself if you want to make a comment or you have any other questions. Now's the time for you guys to, just interact with us. So feel free to, come on up and make your comments, concerns.
Yes, and I'm a very interactive teacher. So, and I'm a hugger. If I see you in person, I'd be like, oh, can I hug you? Anyway, so I'm just telling about myself. But yeah, so I love for people to just reach out and go ahead and ask verbally if you're comfortable with that. And awesome. Yeah, are you in Michigan, Bridget?
Yeah, I'm a certified teacher already.
Okay,
special ed, but I'm currently working at Oakland University, with OU Cares. So yeah, so I don't. That's why I asked if there's an internship because I'm working with adults right now. So that wouldn't matter, correct?
Right. You would probably just have to. That's great. You're in our department.
Yeah.
You would probably just have to, in each class, to be honest, since you're working with adults, just to figure out how it fits. But
okay. I mean, during camp time, because OU Cares has a camp, I work with younger kids. I think this summer I'll be working with the 7 to 9-year-olds. So there is opportunity for me to work with, younger kids in that time of the year. But throughout the rest of the year, I'm with adults. Yeah, I've worked in the K-5 setting as a certified special ed teacher. So I've already had that experience for 5 years. And then I switched. So yeah. I was wondering, I'm I don't know how I would work that out since I'm not in a public school for an internship right now.
Well, many of our master's teachers master's students are either in a public school, a charter school, or an early childhood setting like Head Start, GSRP, private settings, early childhood special ed, so on and so on. And I think when I said that, I didn't mean to put it off, but I think you would just have to be a little creative along with the faculty for some of the projects in some of the classes.
Yeah, that makes
very
sense.
doable. I mean, we have people who aren't in the classroom at all.
Okay.
And we figure it out. It's kind of fun to figure out alternatives, to be honest. Think outside the box a little bit.
Sounds good. Thank you, Julie.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we still have a few more minutes. So if there's any
and there
more
were 2 questions in the chat. So Elisanta said you are, sorry, I gotta find the chat now.
Oh yeah. So Elisant is asking, I have a Bachelor of Education in Guidance and Counseling from the University of Dodoma in Tanzania and currently study international MA program in Early Childhood and Education and Development at the University of Haifa. What's your advice regarding the program? Because I want to become an ECE teacher.
We certainly have had students from that related fields, part of that sentence that I showed you on one slide. It's probably good if we can just connect one-on-one, but we'd certainly have students. A lot of times what happens for people is that they're working in a field. Maybe they're, in social work or they're in counseling. They're realizing that more and more they're working with young children and working with families. So they really do get drawn to that early childhood masters for that reason. So it's very doable. And yet Cecilia, I think, had asked, can you look at that one, Ruben? I don't know why I'm not seeing
She
my
asked
chat.
if people from Nigeria could apply.
Oh, sure. I mean, anytime it's international, I'm not an expert, but we have many international students, particularly at the doctoral level, but also at the master's level. You know, it's always a little more complicated. There's more forms, there's more. I mean, I'm just want to be transparent about that, but it's definitely doable. So yeah, thank you for asking that as well. It's important to know, like, oh, like you can't even do this. I'm not going to start the process, but we can meet one-on-one. And yeah, I'm an information seeker. So if I don't know, I'm gonna, find the right person to answer our questions.
Yeah, and if you want to reach out to us here at the graduate school, we can
Yes,
also help with that information about, the application process for international students. I am from Brazil originally, so I happen to know a little bit more about the process because I had to
Yes.
go through it.
Yeah.
So I can also help out with that. But yeah, there's definitely like resources, and the faculty is always available to help us figure it out, like how to navigate the process, but it's not
Absolutely.
as crazy as it sounds. Sometimes it feels a little bit more complex than actually it is.
And
So
the
yeah,
other
don't be
thing
afraid
is
to
we have our ISSO office, International Student Support Office. I think that's what that stands for. And they've been really helpful. I'm actually sponsoring an international scholar right now. And yes, there were a few more forms, but it's doable. It's very doable. You just have to find the right people who can help you. And graduate school and ISSO office are wonderful resources here on campus. They've certainly helped me a lot navigate these kinds of things.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. So I am putting my also my contact information here on the chat. So if anyone also wants to reach out to the graduate school, I'll be happy to help with whatever application process. We still have a couple minutes left, so if you still have any questions or any comments, now's the time to do it. We do have another session starting at 6:30, and we're gonna go over the MAT in Reading and Language Arts endorsements. So if you join the breakout room looking for information in the Reading and Language Arts endorsements, you're in the right place. We're just gonna, wait until our presenter gets here, and then we're gonna start with that. So, and I guess if we don't have any more questions, I will conclude this session. And thank you so much, Dr. Ricks-Doneen, for
Oh, you're welcome.
all the information. Really
Sure.
appreciate you taking the time to join us.
Yeah, no problem. I also would just put out there for our international students that I try really hard to meet your time needs. So, for example, I am a very early riser. I don't necessarily know what time it is in your country, but that's just something I put out there. Or later, or I mean, I do that with people in the States too. If a lunch meeting is what you need, we'll try to make it happen. If a 7 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. meeting is what you need, yeah. I'm up at the crack of dawn with my dog, so it doesn't bother me to meet at
that's good to
odd
know.
times.
Time zones are always a hard time to figure it out. So
yeah. Oh, there's Jason. Yeah.
Hi, Julie.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so
again.
much. Yeah. Hi, Jason.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. Have a good session. Yeah. Reach out with questions. My email is on the side, and yeah. Thanks so much. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Doctor. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye. How you doing, Dr. Moore?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Okay, so we have a couple more minutes before we start, your session. If you have like slides or presentation, you can start sharing right now if you want.
Sure.
And I'm gonna go over some housekeeping items.
Okay.
and I will introduce you and you can take over from there. Sounds
All
good?
right. Yep. Sounds good. I'll get the slides up and
All
start
right.
presenting too. Actually,
Okay.
I'm gonna stop really quickly. Hold on one second.
Oh, okay. No
I'll be
problem.
right back.
Sounds good. All right, at 6:30. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Oakland University Virtual Graduate Open House for the School of Education and Human Services. We are about to start our last session of the day, an MAT of Reading and Language Arts Endorsements. My name is Ruben Morris. You are in the breakout room A for initial certifications and endorsements. Okay, so if you're looking for information on some other area, it might be in another breakout room. So just go back to the main room and they will direct you to the correct breakout room. Just a reminder, if you wish to receive an application charge waiver code for a free application, you must complete the form to request for an application waiver code form. And I will drop the link on the chat. Please don't forget to fill it up with all your information and we will send you a code in 3 days. So be patient while we go over all the information. If you have any issues hearing or seeing this presentation, please use the chat. Let us know what the problem is and we'll try to address as much as we can. And if you have any questions for the presenter during the presentation, you can type on the chat or you can raise your hand and we'll try to address your questions when we get. So right now, Dr. Moore, it looks like it's just me and you here.
Yep.
We
I
do
know
have
that
a
it's
few
being
people.
recorded. Do you want me to present
Yeah.
it or should I just hang out for a little while?
We can do that. We can wait 5 minutes
All right.
to see if anyone joins us. But yeah, if you're okay doing your presentation, I'll be happy to
Be
listen
my
and be here with
audience.
you.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Since we're recording, it could be good for people that weren't able to join at this time. So
Either way, what have other people encountered this issue today, or
no,
am I the
actually,
only one to not
yeah,
get
I
any?
don't want you to feel bad though. No, you're the first one that had no audience, but it is getting a little bit late, and I know people
Yeah, it's the
sometimes,
last session. Yeah.
yeah. Um, and it is like a busy day with all the 3 breakout rooms going on at the same time. So I know
Yeah.
people have been jumping from one breakout room to another.
Okay.
But yeah,
All right. I'm gonna run and grab a glass of water. I'll be right back while we're waiting.
sounds good.
All
I'll be
right.
here. All right.
Where are you calling in from or joining us on Zoom?
Okay, I'm joining from Nigeria.
Nice. Well, welcome. I will
Thank you.
give the presentation and then we'll see if you have any questions.
All right.
All right. All right. Good evening. I'm Jason Moore, professor in the Department of Teaching and Learning and the Master's Program Coordinator. Today I'm going to talk to you about two of our programs. They're very similar. The first is a Master's of Art in Teaching Reading and Language Arts, which offers a pathway to the Reading Specialist endorsement here in Michigan, and also the Postmaster Certificate, which also offers a pathway to the Reading Special endorsement. Both require an existing teacher certification in order to get the Reading Specialist endorsement. That's a state requirement. Okay. So the first program is 30 credit hours. It is 8 courses across those 30 hours. We offer a course in the fall, a course in the winter, and 2 courses in the summer, and you'll be able to finish the program within 2 years. So it's essentially 1 class per semester per term. The courses are fully online. Some are synchronous, so what you show up at a particular time, and then some are asynchronous, where you do the work on your own. All the classes that are synchronous are offered either Monday or Wednesdays at 5 o'clock until 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time. And then the Postmaster Certificate is very similar. It just subtracts 1 course. So it's 7 courses and 26 credit hours. And again, the courses are offered same procedure as the previous one, 1 course in the winter, 2 courses in the summer, and you'd be able to complete it in less than 2 years.
Okay.
Okay. And then we have several clinic courses in the program. So there's 2 reading clinic courses, a course that focuses on reading assessment, and then a second course that focuses on assessment-based instruction. So you would work with one child, the same child, across those 2 semesters in the summer. In the first course, you're administering the assessments, interpreting the assessments, getting to know the kids and their families, and developing a reading plan. And then you're executing a reading plan and engaging in reflective practice with other peers in the term. So we would match you with one child, and you would do all of your teaching on Zoom. And for this particular clinic, you would arrange with the family, like finding a time when you would work with them every week for 1 hour, 1 hour twice a week. So that's the reading clinic. And then there's a writing clinic. These clinics are offered in alternating summers. So in this course, the writing clinic is also fully online, but you also work with students on Zoom. So you'd be matched with a student. In previous iterations, OU students work with a child at a particular time, like between 1 and 2 p.m. in Eastern Standard Time, 4 days a week. So it's all in July. So it's a summer course that's a little bit different than the reading clinic, which spans the whole summer. This one is a little bit more concentrated, where you would just be teaching in July.
Okay.
Okay, and then there's also an adolescent literacy course. Depending on where you start your program, adolescent literature may be one that's available to you, or it might be authors and illustrators. You can learn about choosing diverse and representative books, learn about engaging with critical perspectives, learn about authors and illustrators' craft. And in many of the courses, you also get an opportunity to meet guest authors and illustrators via Zoom.
Okay.
Okay. So if you're interested in applying, the online application's available. You can just Google Oakland University Graduate School application, and that takes you right to the link. I can also email it to you if that's easier. You can also Google Oakland University Reading and Language Arts MAT, and from the program website, there's also a link to the online application. So the requirements for applying are that you have a minimum of a bachelor's degree already from an accredited institution or its equivalent. You have a minimum GPA 3.0, provide official transcripts, and request recommendations from 2 recommenders. You can use someone in your school, like where you're, or you can use a former professor. So you could use somebody who is like your principal, or a previous professor. For international students, the transcripts must be evaluated and a credential evaluation sent to us. Also, proof of English language proficiency is required and a supplemental application. Okay, and then, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. All program questions can be sent to me. My email is up there on the screen. And I could also set up another Zoom call if we wanted to talk more extensively. So yeah, just send me an email if you want to connect. I can also answer questions via email. I could send you copies of some of the things that I talked about tonight. And if you're having difficulty submitting your application, you can also reach out to me along the way. Most of the time, it's pretty straightforward. One final thing I want to mention, that Ruben mentioned before, I think you joined, is that you can, by attending this virtual open house, you can be eligible to receive a code to waive your application fee. So get that code before you leave today. All right. So do you have any questions that I can help you out with now?
No, yes, I might have some.
Okay.
Now, I'm particularly interested in the reading and writing clinic, and I'm sure it's a very good part of the course that will be very useful because at the moment I teach English language um, as more like L2 actually.
Yeah.
That's second language.
Second language, right?
So I'm wondering, is this reading and writing clinics in L1, or is there any major difference between that? I mean, what I do at the moment and what I will end up doing.
So it would be teaching a student that's likely L1 English. Most likely. We may have some students that we pair up with where it's, they might be first language Spanish speakers or another language. That's pretty common, especially from where we're recruiting from. So it could be a situation where you are teaching an L2 English learner, but the structure of the course is really kind of designed for.
But
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, but in any case, the program is structured to be for me to learn some of these things, and of course, I should gain certain competences along the way.
Definitely. Yeah, I think they would be very relevant for working with second language English learners too.
Okay, I think for now I'm good.
All right, perfect. Well, I'll drop my email in the chat.
Okay.
And feel free to reach out to me and I can send you more information.
Oh, okay.
All right.
And I'm just posting the link for the waiver code. Okay.
Okay.
So I did mention that at the beginning. But if you want to like a free waiver code for the application, you need to fill up with all your information, and it will take about 2 to 3 days for us to send you a code.
All right.
So
got that.
I'm sending the link right now. And let us know if you have any questions about the application process and the requirements. We can also help with that. I will also drop my contact information here. Then you can send us an email. Okay.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I just remembered something. Can I ask, please?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, the test of proof of English proficiency. Which of them does the university accept? Or, I know of some applications that will say if you study in Nigeria or some other English-speaking countries, you might not need to do that. So I just want to clarify that.
Yeah, I can take that one.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, so we do accept TOEFL and
Okay.
Duolingo.
TOEFL.
Okay, so all of those.
IELTS.
Yeah, that one as well. And if you send me an email, I can also send you all the detailed information. But basically, if you can prove us that you've been in the United States for a while and you have work experience or you got your bachelor's degree in from a English speaking country, you can get a waiver from the English proficiency.
Okay.
So
All right.
yeah. So you just need to show us proof that you've been working here for a while, or you have like a proof that of proficiency.
I've not. Okay, I've not been to the US.
Right, right.
Okay, but yeah, but
Okay.
even if you got your previous degree from an English speaking country, that would be considered as well, like experience. So we can get you a waiver
Okay.
if you, of course, submit all the required paperwork and proof.
Absolutely. All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Have a great evening. Thanks for coming tonight.
Thank you.
All
Thank you
right.
very
Take
much.
care.
And thank you,
Professor.
Dr. Moore,
Yeah, you're
for all the
welcome.
information.
Yeah.
Appreciate you taking some time to join us today.
Yeah. Thanks for moderating for us.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you very much.
All
Okay. Have a
right.
good night.
All right. You too. See you later.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So I'm going to head and conclude this session. Okay. So this is the last session of the day for the Virtual Graduate Open House. Thank you for coming and joining us to learn a little bit more about the programs here at Oakland University. Like I said, my name is Ruben Morris. I'm here with the graduate school. If you have any questions about like international applicants or the process for international students, you can reach out to us. We're going to help with all the information. Okay. And if you don't have any more questions, I will go ahead and conclude the session.
That's fine. I don't have any more questions.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.
Bye.